Welcome to my channel. In this particular video, I'm going to teach you how to make 720-degree peplum. The measurement needed are the waist measurement and at the same time the peplum length. The waist measurement we shall be using here is 36 inches, while the peplum length is going to be 10 inches. For the waist measurement, we shall be adding plates to it, so we're going to add 6 to it so that it will become 42 inches. While on the length, that's the peplum length, we're going to add 1 inch to it, making it 11 inches. From our mathematical knowledge, we know that a cycle is 360 degrees. For us to get 720 degrees, that means we have to add 2 cycles together. So we are going to add 2 full cycles to get 720 degrees. You can add as much cycle as you want. You can make it up to 4. When it's 4 cycles, it is going to be 1440 degrees. But now we are only making it 2 cycles, which is 720 degrees. So look at this, the cycle. If this, for instance, is a cycle, we have 2 cycles and it's going to give you 720 degrees. These cycles have a radius. The radius is going to represent our waist measurement. So for we to get the radius, there are formulas we use in getting the radius. The formula for the radius is your waist measurement divided by 6.28. That 6.28, this is a constant. We don't want to go into it mathematically because I understand it's not everybody that is used to mathematics. So we just divide your waist measurement by 6.28. Our waist measurement is 42, but here now, since we are making use of 2 cycles, that means we are going to divide our waist measurement into 2. That means we're going to make each of the waist measurements is going to be 21 inches. The other one too is going to be 21 inches. So by the time we divide 21 inches by 6.28, which gives you 3.35. That means the radius for each of the cycle is going to be 3.35. So you are going to make radius for 2 cycles, which is 3.35 each. You are not going to make it 6.7 at once. You are going to make it 3.35 each on each of the cycle. Then after you might have gotten the radius, what you are going to do is that you are going to cut the cycle and join the peplum together to make it 720 degrees. So right now we are going to cut the material the appropriate way we're supposed to cut it. We can as well calculate the amount of material required. Since we already know the length of the peplum, which is 11 inches, and we know the radius, which is 3.35 inches, we add it together and we're going to get 14.35 inches. So for the length, we're going to add times this 14.35 by 2, we're going to get 28.68, which is the length that we are going to use. So approximately, we are going to be needing 29 by 29 inch material for a full cycle. Then that means we're going to get it we're going to make it 29 by 29 inches times 2. Since we are going to cut 2 cycles, what we are going to do is we're going to get material that is on fold and measure 29 by 29 inches out of it. This is and cut it out. The peplum is going to be having lining. The lining is going to be the same measurement with the fabric. So we are going to have the same cut as well, which is 29 by 29 inches, and cut it out like we did in the main fabric. So this 29 by 29 inches material is folded into 2, then folded again into another 2, making the material is going to be 4 layers if it's 1. Then since it's 2, it's going to be 8 layers. So what we are now going to do is that we are going to measure 14 inches. You remember that is about 14.6. We're going to measure 14 inches on both sides of the edge like this. So you measure 14 inches, then at the middle as well, for you to get your full cycle, you trace it out each like this, get 14 inches, make sure that it's 14 inches so that you get a perfect cycle. So this is how you're going to do it continuously till you get your cycle, your arc. You get this arc from it, then this arc is going to be your cycle because it's already folded into 4. So this is how it is. On the lining as well, you're going to do the same thing. What you did here is the same thing you're going to do on the lining. Make sure that all the measurements are the same and accurate. So you cut it out. When you cut it out, you get a full cycle. Before we cut it out, the next thing we are to be doing is to cut the radius. Like I told you, the radius represents is going to bring out the waist circumference. Our waist circumference here is 3.35. So what we are going to do now is that along this line that we measured 14 inches, we are going to measure 3.3 on it. We're going to measure 3.8 for accuracy, or for to avoid error. We are measuring 3 on both sides so that later we might expand it. So we measure like the way we measure the under arc. That's how we're going to measure this one as well. If we measure it, we cut it out, so we get your full cycle. So this is it. You can see this is your full cycle. As you can see, this is your full cycle. So this is, each of the cycle is 360 degree. We cut the cycle so that we can join them together. Each of the cycle is 360 degrees. So 360 degree plus 360 degree is 720 degree. So as well, do the same thing on the lining, then place on it. We as well added interfacing to both of the cycles in the main fabric as well as the lining. If you like, you can add on the lining. It's not too compulsory, must add on the lining, but I decided to add on my lining so that I can get more stiffness. So I add the interfacing on my main fabric as well. And what we did is cut it out and take it to the sewing machine and join the edge of each of the cycle together, so that we are going to make it 720. So we take it to the machine and join this way. When we've joined it, we also join the lining as well. All right, after you have sewn it, it's going to look like this. This is how it's going to look like. As you've seen it, this is how it's going to look like. So what you're now going to do is that you take your lining, the right side, facing the right side, you are going to sew it round. So as before you sew it round, as you're sewing it, you'll be adding hemming gum to it. The essence of adding hemming gum to it is that by the time you turn it and iron it, it's going to glue together. Instead of top stitching it, you're no longer going to stop stitch it again. So the hemming gum will help you as well. This is how you're going to be sewing it. You're going to sew it round this way. Then if you sew it round, you as you're sewing, like I said, you're sewing, you'll be adding your hemming gum on it. You're going to add the hemming gum all around it as you're sewing. So you take it to your machine and do the sewing. When you sew it, this is what you're going to get. So what you're going to do is that this is a curve. You see, everything is curvy. If you turn it this way all around, you're not going to get a relaxed material. So what you're going to do before you turn it, you're going to notch it. That notching is serving as ease. You're going to notch all the way around, so that by the time you turn it, it will be much relaxed. You turn the peplum. When you turn the peplum, after you finish turning the peplum, arrange the peplum so that the lining will not be exposed. As well, on the lining side and on the fabric side, main fabric side, the lining will not be exposed too. So what you now do is, after then, you are going to press with your pressing iron. If you finish pressing, this is your peplum, and you can press it to your taste, like by adding pleats to it.